Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode and another post of Nourishing Time with Salema. Today's piece and podcast is around the theme, or the prompt, should I say, of what are you growing to bloom? So we're going to dive into that together. Life and wellness lessons from my gardening experience thus far. So, in this mindful lifestyle piece, I talk about my newly found passion to nurture nature, along with my obsession, unfortunately, with grasses and black bamboo, along with a chant and and a reading to ignite the more primal aspect of yourself, which I'm thinking about doing a live for here on Substack, so we can chant and do the reading together and have a discussion, but more on that a bit later. So, relatively new, and to be honest, fairly late to the game of gardening. I've really been surprised just how much I've grown to love it over the past few weeks, especially. I'm not really sure if it's because it's just that time of year here in the Western Hemisphere, because I'm based in the UK, where most plants are blooming, or because I need nature just as much as nature needs me at the moment. Nature, I feel, is the unjudgmental silent witness who allows me to make silly mistakes and is also present watching my tears as well as my joy. A connection which generates a feeling, I have to say, of returning home. That's really emerged this past couple of weeks. And by home, I mean taking me back to memories of the past, being in the garden with my mother and grandmother, watching them tend the earth, chatting about all things plant-based. What I noticed also is that a surprising comfort arose. And that allowed me to nourish the anguish and to replace the negative thoughts with reminders of how to bloom in life. A passion to nurture nature in this way has, as just mentioned, basically, it's provided a great relief and healing for me, especially in times of change that I'm experiencing, and uncertainty and difficulty, like you may be. So I will never underestimate the power of this practice, the practice of gardening, which basically prompts me to change the directionality of my overwhelming thoughts. Busy with changing pots, and my hands were covered in earth a few days ago. The below sutra, so if you're listening to this, hop over to the post, is a sutra taken from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. So it's from the Yoga Philosophy, School of Philosophy, and one I used to chant a lot in my classes in London when I used to teach, and it really worked. The transliteration from the Sanskrit to the English is: when disturbed by disturbing thoughts, think of the opposite. Vitaka Bhadane Pratipaksha Bhavanam is from, if you're interested in looking it up, it's from Pada 2, Chapter 2, Sutra, verse 33. So, gardening, healing distraction? Possibly, but nonetheless an effective and productive one. Moving on to the water just over 5 years ago has had a profound effect on how I view the world, nature, myself, and the connection with others, putting me on a detour to explore another path, another aspect of life: nature and water, obviously. So we often want a reprieve from our often busy and stressful lives, and being with nature and water can really be the antidote to help us recultivate the balance that we need, providing great comfort as well as perspective, inspiration, and creativity along the way. But more than that, it gives us a different type of nourishment, one that we can't necessarily get from others, other humans, I mean, pets. This is a different kind of connection. And so, if you want to know more about the musings about the benefits of living on or near water, then you can check out one of my earlier posts, which I've indexed below on the post. And you can just click the read the full story here. And that post actually got a lot of response. So if you haven't had a chance to read it, listen to it, then please do. The link is in the post. Random connections and conversations. So I guess one of the most surprising outcomes from this new pastime of mine has been not only the depth of connection with nature, but also with others. Random connections in the most fleeting of moments. Gardening, a common thread that connects us, can also help us recultivate and extend consideration and kindness out to strangers. Much needed in our world at the moment, I feel. So recently, I was visiting a gardening shop where I was exploring and pondering on various kinds of bamboo. Picked a couple up. I was walking around with them, as you do if you are liking going to a garden center, putting them to one side, looking at the heights, looking how big they were, and then the dilemma of, yes, I need to buy another pot. And oh, my husband, my partner, my boyfriend is going to say, oh, not another pot. However, apart from that, to my left side, there was a lady viewing my indecision. She started to approach slowly and started to offer some friendly advice on her experience with bamboo. Suddenly, we struck up a conversation, and she recommended another place to try for some and mentioned also that they had 30% off. Wow. I said, thanks so much for taking the time to chat and suggest an alternative. And with that, I got in my car and headed off to the recommended place. Lucky for me, I was able to pick up the last black bamboo plant. So if you're looking at the post, see the second row far right. And as I was bringing the plant home, as I was bringing the bamboo home, I thought it is in these simple moments where really we can allow ourselves to be human, to be connected without fear and without judgment. And that in itself is priceless. My gardening detour has also, I feel, on reflection, contributed me to embodying more faith in myself, as well as providing nourishment for my soul, allowing me to bloom again, especially after COVID, and really has contributed towards my evolution, as well as restoring harmony. And if you're looking at the post, note the first row, top right corner, with my first ever gardening bag that I got really excited about getting and putting all my tools in. And sometimes it's just the smallest things that bring us joy. Life is better when you decide an unexpected detour is just the universe nudging you towards where you truly belong. Of course, you have to be aware. And I think gardening produces a different kind of awareness, an awareness to your environment, um, an awareness to the cycle of life as well. Life and wellness lessons learned. So, as I've been designing my front and back gardening deck space, I've been particularly mindful of not cluttering the space with too much furniture, nor lots of different varieties of plants. I wanted to keep it relatively simple and calming, as I felt that is what I needed for my mental health. And also, it had to be easy to maintain while still reflecting the essence of Zen. After all, our indoor and outdoor spaces are a reflection of our personalities and or what we want to see. The next picture is this hand-built planter bench that we built, me and my partner, to house my two Japanese maple birch trees, which are now looking, I have to say, lovely. I'm really happy that I've managed to keep them alive, because that is obviously the other challenge with gardening. And it's this receptivity and awareness to watching how plants and flowers respond to the locations you put them in. And I think that then we can use that awareness that we've cultivated, excuse me, and we can then bring that into our everyday interactions. That's just my musings on it, basically. So the other interesting thing that's happened the last 2 weeks has been this craving for this indoor nurturing. So taking what I love to do outside and bringing it inside, in other words. I wanted to create a small but effective and creative herb space in my kitchen because I often love to cook with natural herbs. I mean, yes, there is also a place for bottled herbs, of course, but having at least a few regular fresh herbs, it feels different and adds a different energy to the space, especially when you tend to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, like I do. Not sure if that's an age thing or I'm not sure what it is, but I never used to spend too much time in the kitchen. But in the last 5 years, 6 years, I've been spending more time in the kitchen. And anyway, getting back to the piece, and there's a picture accompanying this little section. I found this great quality and purposeful mini greenhouse at IKEA, Acubar. Um, Basically, it's perfect for putting like 3 pots in. You could put a narrow seeding tray in there. You can use them indoors or outdoors. I've got mine indoors at the moment, but I'm thinking I might get a couple of more for outside, and they're on special at the moment with IKEA, so they're like £15, and they are so well built. The quality is really good. But you can also use them, if you like interior design, you can also put stuff in them as well. It also looks really good. Um, there's some more ideas of that on my Instagram profile, Styling with Salema, because I have two profiles. Just very quickly, I have two profiles on Instagram. The Styling with Salema is, you can take a look and see all the renovations that we've done since we've been on the water, the garden, the outside spaces, repurposing wood, repurposing furniture. So we try not to put anything in landfill. We repurpose everything. So you might want to have a look at that if you're interested in that sort of thing. So back to the piece, these continuing reflections. So just as I rejoice in seeing seeds growing and blooming and then declining, dying, and rebirthing, I'm actually also reminded of the cycle of life, my life. That's quite a lesson in itself. So, going to finish off with some prompts and inquiries to help you bloom, and then I'm going to read you a small extract taken from a beautiful poem by Pixie Lighthouse. So the first prompt and inquiry to help you bloom is, if you haven't got a pen and paper or your journal or your notebook, go and grab it now. What are you nurturing right now? What are you nurturing right now? 2. What needs your attention in a positive way? What needs your attention in a positive way? 3. What would you like to grow? What would you like to grow? It can be anything, not only plants, an idea, a relationship, a business, but what would you like to grow? The next prompt is, so what needs to evolve for that to happen? What needs to evolve for that to happen? Next prompt, what would you like to see bloom? What would you like to see bloom? What time frame will you give it? What time frame will you give it? And the final, probably the most important prompt is, what are you prepared to do to facilitate this growth and support the bloom? And I'm going to finish off with an extract from Honouring by Pixie Lighthouse. Thank you for this miraculous day of reckoning. Thank you for your unpredictable weathers, which allows us to stay aware and awake, tuned in and tuned up. Bless the soil today for all of the little promises held safe. So, thank you for listening, reading my publication and my podcast. Really appreciate it. As I say, do watch this space. If you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, do go over to Substack or my Instagram feed because if I do a live on a Substack and we go through the prompts together and do the reading, then I'll let you know when that is. Otherwise, I would like you to hold the essence of what does it mean to really bloom as the last prompt. What does it mean to really bloom? Until next time, my friends.